it's part of the Sutton running out of steam. He is dying, and therefore he must take energy from wherever he can. So it's like when your business is failing, you sell half your business to somebody else. He has sold out. Sutton is selling out to the Arabs because this combination is the only thing left that he's got. He says, I can't go it alone against the Jews anymore. Esav cannot defeat the Jews. Neither can Yishmael defeat the Jews.
Alone.
Like the Navi says, but the Tehillim says in that same pasuk of the 10 nations that is represented by the Yud of Ya'ish, right? It's combination is deadly. We'll use Gaza as a wedge to destroy Israel standing in the world. Europe, academia will use you kill children in Gaza. That is their attack. That's their sword. They don't have another sword. They have to use Ishmael. You'll understand what's going on at a very deep level. Corbyn refused really to detach from Europe. Why? Because he's committed to that hatred. Whereas other people in England are not. The concept of Brexit, this is for you, is another idea that Rabbi Kessin speaks about all the time, the separation of the good part of Esav from the evil part of Esav. What's that separation all about? If we can separate Esav from Yishmael in its cause of evil towards Yaakov, split them up, then you'll have Esav standing alone and Yishmael standing. They're not dangerous, and not only that, but they'll turn to the support. Esav will support Yaakov against Yishmael. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
And then Yishmael will have to capitulate because they have no recourse. That's what's going on. The ending of Brexit and this great victory was another huge step in separating the deadly combination of Esav and Yishmael. Deadly. Boris Johnson, not a great fan of Israel, but certainly not a great enemy. Not a supporter of Hamas by any imagination.
Okay.
And if you look at him, who does he look like a little bit?
Trump.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy?
But Trump.
They could be brothers.
He is a supporter.
What?
He is a supporter.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He is a positive, much like Trump is a positive. Not to that
As far as
extent.
we go.
But again, we know Europe is not America. America, from its very inception, was the good of Esav. Now I'm going to on a deeper level. Now we're going to get really to the basic stuff. Christianity, by its essence, hates Judaism, but again needs Judaism to survive. How? They take Yoshka, who is a Jew, turn them into their god, because you cannot have a Messiah without the Jewish people. Get it? It's just they'll move the temple to their territory, much more convenient than Jerusalem. Not that they forgot about Jerusalem, because look at the Crusades. They were so crazy. What do they care about Jerusalem? What do you care about Jerusalem? That's a Jewish thing. No. They have to have their authenticity is based on controlling Yerushalayim. If they do not control Yerushalayim, they know they're completely illegitimate. Okay.
That's why the Pope has his Pope Jews.
Of course.
And to be, to be a witness.
Exactly. That's right. And that's, this is a Gemara that's mind-boggling. Ramesh Shapiro brings it down in his Sefer, Gemara in Avodah Zarah, which says that once every 70 years, they take a lame Jew, and put him a lame person, put him on the back of a very strong person, and dress him up in the mask of the skull of Yishmael the high priest. Remember this? Remember the Yishmael the high priest? Yishmael Kohen Gadol his face was flayed off by the Roman emperor's daughter because of his beauty. So they take the mask and they put it on the face.
They still have the mask?
Well,
They do it.
Oh.
the Masorah is that mask still exists
Yeah, I couldn't
in the
imagine.
Vatican.
It must be in that.
But they preserved it. They turned it into a piece of plastic key.
Do they believe in
curing-
the Ten Commandments?
Of course they have to.
But
They don't
have
believe in it the way
different-
we believe in it. Zachor Shem Shabbos L'Kadsha. What Shabbos are you talking about? Lo Sinaf, what are you talking about? They just take a nominal understanding, and they don't even emphasize it too much. Because they want to say that was,
Oh,
we're not bound by that. And, one second. So, when church and state separate, that means that the political power is dominated by the religion. That is the danger. Right? Because they'll now activate armies and crusaders to go and do their bidding and destroy Jewish people and conquer Jerusalem because they have the wherewithal to do it. If they are not in the government, they have no teeth. They don't have no teeth. People can go to the pray, but that's as far as it goes. An army? No, you're not in charge of the army. You're not making those decisions. Who we invade, who we don't invade. Where did that begin, the breaking of church and state? Well, it did start simultaneous with what? The founding of America. America was the first, quote-unquote, Christian nation in which church and state were separated. Hence, you could not have, it wasn't a dangerous place for the Jews until now. And that's not because of the Christians. What is it because of?
Muslims.
It's because of Muslims and Jewish pretenders like the Black Hebrews and so on. This Misa with Jersey City and so on. But that was the beginning of the end for Esau, Edom. Okay, I don't want to go into that part.
Okay.
So the tikkun is through the karbanos of Musa. Now let's go a step deeper. Rav Shimshon of Astropoli, well-known Makubal, says that the neshama of Rabbi Akiva was hidden in Shechem. Remember the Shechem and Hamor? What is Shechem famous for? A lot of problematic things. It was Mokum Mucham Leperonios. What bad stuff happened in Shechem? Well, the first thing was that Dinah was taken and abused and eventually had a child. Who was that child? Osnat. Who did Osnat marry?
Yosef.
And produced the two tribes of Yosef, right?
Right.
How come Dinah, what do we know, what else do we know about Dinah? Was she supposed to be a girl or was she supposed to be a boy?
But
Which boy? Yosef. Dinah and Yosef are really essentially one, right? Who ends up marrying Dinah in Mitzrayim? As we just said. No. Ends up, Yosef marries
No,
Dinah in Mitzrayim.
But one
Dina.
brother
Not
married
Dina.
her before.
Shimon.
Shimon, that's right.
Right. And that's why Shimon, that's another story, but Shimon is a big problem. Because he was really, had to be corrected by having 24,000 of his tribe destroyed. Tikkun for the act of intermarriage, right? What was Shechem and Hamor? What are they doing? What do they try to do with Dinah? Intermarry her, take her away from, okay, you understand? Shimon tried to help. Shimon does the tikkun, but through the suffering and through the sin. How many students of Rabbi Akiva were there?
How many what?
You see?
24,000.
Who's the, so says Rishim Shamash Koli, the soul of Dinah's child, the soul that was hidden within Dinah, contained the roots of Rabbi Akiva's soul. Rabbi
That's what you're
Akiva
trying
was
for now.
liberated by this act of Shechem ben Hamor. Okay. And then what happened? So I'm just adding. It's very simple. Osnat is born. Of that union, goes down to Mitzrayim, marries Yosef. And of course, Ephraim and Menashe are the first Jews that, and the only Shvatim, that were born where?
In Mitzrayim.
In Golos, in exile, right? And yet, they maintain their Kedusha. Who had the ability to stand in the exile and remain Kadosh and spiritually withstand the tests of the Golos?
Yaacov.
Yosef, right?
And Yaacov.
With the help of Yaacov, right?
What about his wife? Osnat, she raised
She's
them.
part of it, yeah. Osnat is a reflection of really Dinah, and I don't want to go there, but it's the Leah part, of Mashiach, But when you're in Golos, the key thing is Yosef. Yosef is the key to Golos, right? He survives. He is the tzaddik that can emerge out of Golos and come back where? To Eretz Yisrael.
And so that's why you have Mashiach and Yosef?
Correct. Mashiach ben Yosef's job is to bring us back to Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Biro adds a thing that I saw on Shabbos, which made me want to cry. He says in the dream of Yaakov, he's told he's going to return to this Adama, to this earth of land of Israel. When you return to earth, what does that mean?
You died.
That's right. He says the Jews will come out of Galus dead. We only return from Galus dead.
Dead?
Like Yaacov and Yosef, whose bones were buried here. What does that mean? For all intents and purposes, the Jews in Galus die. Either they die a physical death or they die a spiritual death, but they die.
What about the Jews who were living in Israel?
Okay, so what happened was, the Jews, this is an incredible thing, but according to Moshe Shapiro, let's face it, who came back? Who came to Israel in 48? Who came? Only dead people. Why? They were either Holocaust survivors, who were dead, walking corpses, as Elie Wiesel identified himself in his famous book, Night. The last phrase of the book, Night, is I looked in the mirror and I saw a corpse. Those Jews came back. Jews from the Arab countries came without a penny to their name, and ani doma lemes. When you come without anything, and those other Jews that came penniless and poor are thrown. That's how the Jews come back out of Galus initially. And then, of course, we have a Tchias HaMesim within Eretz Yisrael. We get reactivated, which we're still in the process.
Because we also had real Torah leaders who came.
That's right. And the only way, okay, I've got to go ahead. Okay, here we go. Bear with me. Yosef and Musa. The karbanos that were bought represent the Jews who were in the exile in the domain of Mashiach ben Yosef. That's why they're called karban musaf. Musaf, Yosef, they're going to come back. How are we going to get them back? We're going to have to daven for them, do avoda for them. The karbanos that were offered, those 550 karbanos, primarily according to this understanding, are to bring the Jews back out of Galus who are still in Galus. Get it? That's why these karbanos take place during the Shlosha Regalim, where Jews would come from all over the world, including the Galus.
Oh, they came from
Of
Gaza?
course. Of course. Okay? And that's why Esav
They came-
attacks what part of Yaakov? His
the-
regel. And that's why Yaakov, when he says to Esav, thanks but no thanks, I don't need your company, he says, I have to go l'regel hayeladim u'leregel hatzon regel. He says, I'm injured. I have people that, I have neshamos that need to be developed. It's not going to happen with you around. Okay, it's bad enough that I had to lose those 550 souls. Most of them kosher. 30 of them not kosher camels. What are camels? Mixed.
Yeah.
They're kosher on the inside, don't kosher on the outside. You, Esav, are what? A chazir. Kosher on the outside, not kosher on the inside. All mixed up. Good and evil, all mixed up. What is good and evil all mixed up? Esav. Why? His head and his heart are in two different places, the Shem Shmuel says. Esav's head knows the truth. Knows the truth. But his passions, his body, his arms and his legs just goes kaput when faced with the Nisayon. He surrenders to the Nisayon. What did he do on his 15th birthday? Every single sin imaginable. Vayochel, Vayesh, Yaacov, Vayibes. Says Chazal, he did everything. Murder, adultery, you name it.
It was the funeral day?
He succumbed at the funeral of Avraham Avinu. Why? Because for him, his connection to Yahadus died that day. Because he could not withstand his own taivos. His body and his head were separated. We spoke about this a little bit last week. The Binyamin is the neck of the Jewish people. And that's why Beit El is right on the border of Binyamin and Yosef, because that's where we stitch the Jewish people's head and hearts together. The intellectuals, the chachamim, the ashirim, the people of the world, with the tzaddikim, the heart of, the Yisraelim and the Yerushalmim. Right? You got it? I don't have to go into the political issues in Israel today. But the head and the heart are split at the throat. Slit at the throat. And until they come together, we're not even close to having what Israel must and can be. Because we're still not alive. Because when you separate the head and the heart, what do you have? Death. That is what Esav does to the Jewish people. Separates us from our Torah knowledge, from our Rosh, Yosef. Esav is Ayin Tov, right? He's not even has anything about Ayin Hara. Ayin is in the head. right? But the Lev is Yehuda, the rest of the people. And today, in Israel today, we have a terrible split between the head of the Jewish people, meaning the Dati'im, those people who have knowledge, the Chachmas HaTorah, and the body, who are doing the work and the Parnasa, and out in the field, as they say. Esav is Ish Sadeh. The Esav part that can be redeemed for the good is completely disconnected from the Chachma, and that's the problem. It's getting a little better. You know where? It's getting better. It just got better in England. We just got rid of a terribly corrupt, evil-hearted, right, entity known as Labour under Corbyn, and hopefully now Roche, will connect with more pure souls. As if there's such a
Unfortunately, the
thing.
Labour Party is riddled with anti-Semitism.
What's that?
His party is riddled with anti-Semitism.
Exactly. We have to get rid of it.
What did you say?
The
Get rid of
party is full of anti-Semitism.
That's right. That was what we
And
had
the
to get
Jews
rid
can't
of.
be complacent in that.
Well, if they're not woken up by now, I don't know what's it going to take. But the chief rabbi had a spirit. The Rosh, the Chacham of the Jewish people in England, had to speak up about an election. It's absolutely unprecedented. By the way, I'll go one more step. I'm talking a lot about England this time. Sorry. What else is happening to the British monarchy, as I've said many times,
He got married to.
which represents the Esav's Malchut, right? Because the Queen of England is officially the head of the church, which is the last vestige of that deadly combination of.
But she has no power.
Now she has no power because the Malchus has all the way gone down, but it used to have tremendous power, and not even that long ago. And what has happened to her own son? He's been shown to be an Esav-like, lecherous, evil person.
Which one, Charles?
No.
And
Charles was the better one. Better. And he was also running around.
Okay, which one?
What about Archie?
Yeah, Archie
Andrew?
comics.
What happened to
Yeah, they are being disgraced and discredited. And by the way, the son who's a little bit more of a mensch, okay, the one who's, what's the other one's name? The one who married the girl from America was famous for walking around with a Nazi uniform.
Harry, no, the grandson.
Harry.
Harry.
Son.
Oisvorf, big time.
So he's-
And he proved
So he
to be unfit to be royal. The other guy is a little bit better,
Which one is the other guy that's bad?
not Prince Harry. but
William.
One is married to Catherine.
Diana's children?
Yes, yeah.
Prince William.
Of the children, the bad one has been discredited.
The one
The
who-
good one remains. Among the queen's sons, the bad one has been discredited. The good son remains. It's a process of Biur Tov Hara that's going on. That's my assessment in America too. In America too, just wait. The separation of good from evil is proliferated to such an extent that even America itself is shocked what has happened, the degradation of what has become the left-wing liberal Hollywood Democratic Party, and unfortunately, the overwhelming majority of Jews. Okay. Now, just 1 second. So here's the thesis we get to in the last 10 minutes. Says the Shimshon of Ostropoli, if you take, after the incident of Dinah, Hashem says, Yaacov, Kum, Ale, Beis, Kel. The first letters spell Akiva. Because Akiva has now been liberated from the realm of Tuma, of Hamor and Shem, and now we can go to Beis Kel, which is the place of Binyamin and Yosef, and build the first step of the Geula, Mashiach ben Yosef, the Mishkan. The story of Esther, which precedes, of course, the reestablishment of the Beis HaMikdash. Now, says the Shimshon Ashapoli, what did Shem say about Dinah? He said 3 things. He loved her. How do you say Ahav? Aleph Hey Vav. Chafetz Ba. How do you spell it? With a chet. Chafetz. And Davak Ba with a Daled. What does that spell? Echad. Echad. Rabbi Akiva dies when they're flaying his head in the place of the tefillin. And he says, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, which is the call of all the martyrs that happened, all the Kedoshim, at the hands of Esav, all the centuries that they said Shema Yisrael, including the Shoah. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Tefillin. It says, Mi ka'amcha, Tefillin of God say, Hashem, Mi ka'amcha Yisrael, Goy Echad Ba'aretz, unity of belief, the indivisibility of Hashem is Rabbi Akiva, right? Who is the counterbalance to Ya'ish. Ya'ish with a Vav. Look at the letters. Spells Yeshua, otherwise known as Yashka Oso Ha'ish. Who is Rabbi Akiva? Akiva ben Yosef is the counterbalance to the other Yeshua ben Yosef, otherwise known as Yeshua the
But he was
Joseph.
a proselyte from a.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Christianity is overcome. Yeshu is counterbalanced by Rabbi Akiva. Yeshu is nothing other than one of those animals that was sent over to the domain of Esav. You understand? A Jew that was captured. A Jew that had the head, had the heart, but not the head. He did not see, in fact, one of the things that Yoshka said was, there's no reason to worry about what you eat is kosher. It's only what comes out of your mouth that's kosher. Why? Because he had no connection to Torah whatsoever, only to have a good heart,
Yeah, no,
good midos.
But you-
I don't think he actually said that. I think the people who
The
who made up a new story about him.
Well, that's what I heard.
He
But
didn't write anything.
well, I don't know what you,
But
truthfully, it could be a mythical figure too, we don't know.
Rabbi Yeshua ben Frachel, I mean, he had
I don't think he ever renounced Torah.
He renounced it. He renounced
Okay,
practice.
but he knew it.
He mocked where? This is what's key. Where was he, where did he attack, the only place we see, where did he attack Judaism? Which part of the Jewish world was anathema to him?
The Beis Hamikdash.
There you go. And that is the point. Esav's anathema is the Beis Hamikdash. Once the Beis Hamikdash is built and in place, then we'll say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. The Jewish people are united with Torah, with Eretz Yisrael, and with Yerushalayim. Everything is Echad. The purpose, Esav, is about pirud, splitting the Trinity, destroying the concept of the unity of God, taking a Jew and tearing him away, not only from Eretz Yisrael, but from Torah and mitzvos. Do you understand? Now, Rabbi Akiva, we can learn from him the following. A couple of things about Rabbi Akiva that we know. One is that he was very optimistic about the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash, right? He was the one who gave us strength. He actually tried to build the Beis Hamikdash and was successful for 3 years with Bar Kochba. 3 years they did rebuild. So he's all about the rebuilding of the Beis Hamikdash, number one. He's also about no sinas chinam because of his talmidim, his 24,000 talmidim. Yaacov, I like to say this. His wife wasn't around for how many years?
24 years.
Oh yeah, and how many students died?
24,000.
Hello? It wasn't 100% kosher that Rabbi Akiva completely separated from his wife for 24 years. Not 100% kosher.
It wasn't.
Why not?
Not 100% kosher.
I agree with you, but.
Because she was left alone. And as much as she wanted it and everything like that, there's an undercurrent, I believe there, which says that the only students that Rabbi Akiva ever had that actually made it were the 5 students that came to him after he reunited with his wife. Because Judaism doesn't go for what? Separation. Okay, that's my thought. Now, one second.
So he married
But he
Tony's
did visit
Rufus's
her.
wife.
and he-
He didn't visit her.
I thought he did, like, and then she would go back.
12 and 12.
No?
No, that's the whole point. He came back after 12 years and heard her say, I don't care if he stays forever. He turns around and goes back. Why didn't he stop in and say hello?
He didn't even stop and say hello?
No.
Didn't
But
they actually?
what about with Turnus Rufus's
The
wife?
children they had may have been from before or after.
But then he married Turnus.
Oh, okay, here we go. Now, Rabbi
She-
Akiva
and she's-
marries the wife of Turnus Rufus, who
Who was-
plows over the temple. And he marries her and brings her back, which is another idea of rebuilding the temple against all odds. Marrying the wife of Turnus Rufus, who plowed the Makom Mikdash with salt that should never have a rebuilding ever. No, he marries her. Akiva ben Yosef is the counterbalance to Yoshua ben Yosef, as they say, the commandeered Jew that fell into Esav, one of the 550 animals that fell into the hands of Esav. Okay, now, I even have more here, guys. This is unbelievable.
Let's do this.
No.
And
What we
she-
can do, okay.
She's
The
a Gilboa
idea that
Cosby.
the Jews that are in Golis will only come here dead. What's the idea? What about the idea that people quote about being brought on eagle's wings?
What?
You know, alive.
When they come here, they will have a bechinas mason, according to this.
They don't have a-
They won't have any money, they won't have anything. Ani doim mace. When you have nothing, you could be on the eagle's wings without anything but the clothes on your back, usually. You're not bringing any houses over there.
No lift.
No cars,
So
no Mercedes. It's you, okay? Now, one last thing. Rabbi Akiva was actually born precisely when Yeshu lived. Because he died around 135, which means that he was born around the year 1520, and he didn't come from until the year 60, which was after Yeshu was done away with, approximately the year 33, according to Chazal.
Uh-huh.
Because he didn't live out half his years because he was Russia, so he only lived 33 years. According to them, if he was born in year 0, that means he was killed in the year 33, and at that time, Rabbi Akiva was already born as the counterbalance. Okay, and
So Cosby was also.
yeah, Yosef. What did they dip his beged in, which is the beged of the Kohanim? They dipped it in blood of Izim. Who is the Seir? Is an A's. Who is that? Remez to Edom, Esav, Christianity, which will take Yosef and commandeer him for himself to murder him and be liable for his own blood. Edom, get it? The dam of Seir takes the coat of kahuna of Yosef, the coat of many colors. And Nimsa, that the entire tikkun of Christianity will come through the return and building of the temple. Ironically, Christians today want to rebuild the temple. Now, I'll tell you how I see this. In football, they say you move the goalposts. Meaning that they now have to admit the fact, there's not going to be any temple outside of Jerusalem. So let's hurry up and preempt. We'll build the temple, but we'll still steal the Jews. But what they don't know is that the building of the Beit HaMikdash is the end of Christianity. It's Shmo Echad. Hence, Hanukkah, Christmas is what we started with. Chanukah's Habayis. And Christianity is exactly counterbalanced. In other words, once the Beit HaMikdash is rededicated, Christianity ends. It's over. The key figure, Yosef, and Akiva ben Yosef, and Yosef HaTzadik, Mashiach ben Yosef, they're the ones who get us out of the grip of Esav. Hence, Dinah, who was really Yosef. Had she married Esav to begin with, we would have avoided all this suffering.
That's a theory. I can't believe it.
You know, Chazal said it.
And why didn't Yaakov see
You
in
said
this?
Chazal say? Oh,
Why do you not see what?
hard to believe it.
The role that Dinah could have played in changing Esav.
I can't imagine.
Well, it would be the same thing. 1 second. What happens to
Yaakov-
Dinah? What happens to Dinah? She's terribly violated in the next episode, right? That's what he didn't want. What he didn't want to happen. That's what he thought would happen to her. She'd just be violated, right? Little did he know that she was on such a level. Until it was proven. It wasn't proven yet, but it was in potential that she was on such a level to be the tzaddik like Yosef was in the house of Potiphar, with Esav playing the role of Potiphar's wife in reverse. Anyway, that's just some of the ideas. Hashem should give us strength to understand,
Thank you, Rabbi.
and we should see the kiyum of all these things. With the laughter of Rabbi Akiva when he comes back to
You know,
celebrate.
she's Trinity Group of Writers was a Gilgal of Cosby. So how did that, Cosby?
Right, because Shimon did save Dinah and marry Dinah. So he was part of that.
Brother married?
He married her.
Was it the same mother and father?
Who else did they marry? So come
But they
Chazal said
had-
that they all had married these sisters.
Yeah, but different, the sisters from different mothers.
Chazal tell us that in order that Dinah should not be a disgraced woman living on her own, he took her in as a wife. Now, that
I know that, but I thought you just lived.
That
with
means that Shimon, on some level, was dominating Yosef. And unfortunately, it worked out just the opposite.
Dominating Yosef.
Shimon did not have the tzaddik power that Yosef had. So he used his tzidkus, unfortunately, to help save Jews. It came out in a corrupted way. By what? Exactly what we're trying to avoid. Intermarriage. It came boomerang on him. And he ends up defending intermarriage. He ends up defending intermarriage, I'm sorry.
Isn't